violation of the resolution of the General Assembly, which had been adopted by roll for 48, 36, with the abstention, as well as the violation of the principle of the Charter. This situation is a serious one and is a threat to international peace.